Hello everyone, and welcome to this video training on travel hacking for overwhelmed overachievers. I'm your host, Julia Menez. Let's go ahead and get started. So what are we covering in this training today? Well, first of all, what is travel hacking? What is this magical lifestyle known as the travel hacking lifestyle? How do you get in on it? And if you stay until the very end, I have a couple of special offers you don't want to miss out on. So, hello, my name is Julia, and I am a travel hacking coach and the founder of Geobreeze, where I teach overwhelmed overachievers like you how to save some money, time, and a little bit of sanity by learning travel hacking and traveling the world for next to nothing without going completely insane over all of the different credit cards, offers, and jargon that's out there and available for you to find. I've personally been using travel hacking for the last 3 or 4 years, close to 4 years now. And I've traveled to more than 30 countries, many of them for free, through travel hacking, and saved thousands of dollars each year through travel hacking and getting free flights and free hotels, and saving through food in airports and other perks like that as well. A couple of disclaimers about what I am not. I am not a financial advisor, and I don't want you to take anything that you learn from this training today as official financial advice. This is all meant for informational purposes only, with a little bit of entertainment thrown in. So, what is travel hacking? Travel hacking is the art of getting free travel by utilizing the loyalty program set by credit card companies and airlines and hotels. It is 100% legal. That's a question that I get all the time, is just because the word hacking is involved, does that mean that we are doing something unscrupulous? Nope, 100% legal. And it is growing in popularity in the travel community as well as the personal finance community. So why should you even get into travel hacking? Well, the first reason is pretty obvious, which is you get free travel. The pictures over here to the right are from a trip that I took to Maui last October, where we were able to get about $1,000 worth of savings just off of one night through travel hacking. Using one of our credit cards, we had a free hotel voucher for one night at any Hilton hotel in the world. So obviously, we were going to redeem that at the most expensive Hilton hotel in the world, which is the Grand Wailea in Maui. It's a Waldorf Astoria resort, and rooms start at $500 a night. So we went ahead, redeemed that free voucher, and said, okay, we saved $500, but did not stop there. We also were able to negotiate for a free upgrade to the $900 per night room, which comes with free breakfast and free cocktail hour, which is heavy enough to serve as dinner. So we saved a ton of money off of food there. But not only did we get a free $900 per night room, they also threw in all of these goodies that you can see in the photo, like this bottle of champagne and all of these free local snacks, just by negotiating with the free email upgrade template that you received as part of this freebie sign up as well. So aside from all of the free travel, all of the hotel upgrades, all of the free flights, and other perks such as lounge access in different airports, getting free TSA, pre-check, getting free global entry so that you never have to wait in line at airports, there's even more to travel hacking than that. You also get financial freedom by learning a lot about financial literacy. You, through travel hacking, will get to understand how to take control of your credit score, how to avoid ever paying interest on your credit cards, how to better understand your personalized spending patterns and make it work for you so that you can optimize the number of travel hacking points that you get from money that you were going to spend anyway. And through all of that, just having a better understanding of your financial picture just brings so much financial peace in a world where so many people are overwhelmed by not understanding how their finances can work for them rather than against them. And additionally, in addition to free travel and your financial freedom, you also learn how to creatively problem solve and stop brute force solving any problem that comes your way. So I don't know about you, But I definitely grew up with this instilled belief that I had to win some kind of imaginary suffering Olympics or struggle Olympics, as I sometimes call it, where the more all-nighters and tears that you cry and time that you spend bashing your head against a wall in order to accomplish something means that it'll have more value in the end and will be that much more commendable when you finally win. That is really unhealthy to keep believing. And through travel hacking, I want to help more people understand that it doesn't have to be that way. You can actually get a lot more done and save yourself a ton of resources and so many headaches by instead focusing your efforts on where you can get the most value for the same or less amount of effort. And travel hacking is just one of the great practice arenas to do that in, where if you can get free vacations without throwing a whole bunch of money at it, then you start to think, where else can I implement that kind of mindset? Can I do that in my job where I automate out a whole bunch of reporting or a lot of different emails that I have to respond to the same way over and over again? Can I take that kind of mindset approach with my finances, with my health, with my time management? It expands to so many different facets of your life. And additionally, once you start to be able to accomplish things like getting free flights and getting free hotels and getting access to luxury experiences that you thought you wouldn't have access to at this point in your life, then you start building up the confidence that you can accomplish anything you want. And you can do all of that just by learning travel hacking. So, if I have sold you on the fact that travel hacking is definitely a worthwhile skill to learn, you might now be asking, okay, how do I even get started with doing that? Do I just have to apply for some high rewards credit cards and then people throw free flights and free hotels at me? There's a little bit more nuance to it than that. So you do apply for high rewards credit cards, and as soon as you get those in the mail, I would say the first thing you need to do right after activating it is to set all of your payments on automatic to be paid in full at the end of each statement period. Otherwise, if you are carrying a balance from one statement period to the next, then you are going to have to pay interest on the amount of that balance. And travel hacking cards have some of the highest interest rates of any credit cards out there in the market. So to avoid paying interest at all, always just set your credit cards to be paid automatically in full for every statement balance. Do that as soon as you get the credit card in the mail. Once you have your payment set up, then you want to make sure that you receive the sign-up bonus. Many of the travel hacking cards will have some kind of sign-up bonus, such as you'll receive 50,000 points if you spend at least $3,000 in the first 3 months of your card opening. To which you might now be thinking, okay, that's the catch because I don't have an additional $3,000 to spend just to get these extra bonus points. And you don't need to spend an extra $3,000. You need to just take $3,000 that you were planning on spending on something anyway and time all of this correctly so that you get that in the sign up bonus period. You want to sign up for your travel hacking credit cards shortly before making large purchases. And this can be anything from buying a car with a down payment. You might need to remodel part of your house or go for a large move to a new area, and that could cost thousands of dollars. Or especially if you are getting married, congratulations, by the way. If you are getting married, you should put all of your wedding expenses on travel hacking credit cards because then you get your honeymoon for free. Just imagine if your wedding is going to cost more than $3,000 most likely, so you can just take that money that you were going to spend on your wedding anyway and then fly to your honeymoon for free, stay at that beautiful hotel or resort for free for your honeymoon. And then once you have the sign-up bonus, which you will easily get through organic spend just by strategically timing when you get these cards, you will then use that card on a daily basis for money that you were going to spend anyway. And with each expense, you will accrue more points that you get into your points bank. And then one day you will have enough points to say, okay, I'm now going to redeem these points for free travel. So then you transfer them to the appropriate airline or appropriate hotel partner and then redeem your free travel to get free flights and hotels. You also want to make sure that you are taking advantage of all of the other rewards, or as many of the rewards as you can, with each travel hacking card, because you not only get points that you can redeem for free travel, you can get things like I mentioned free TSA pre-check or free global entry. Make sure that you sign up for that. Make sure that if you're getting any statement credits for traveling, that you're putting those on credit cards to where you can get those different statement credits. So, my American Express Platinum card comes with a whole bunch of different benefits. Like I get $100 off at Saks Fifth Avenue each year. I get $15 off of Uber, sometimes $35 off of Uber each month. So I want to make sure that I take Uber at least once a month or get Uber Eats once a month to take advantage of those credits. I want to make sure that I'm putting my streaming services on that card because I get refunds for my different streaming services. So just make sure that you really understand all of the different terms and benefits associated with each of your cards so that you can get the most value out of each card. But before you do any of this, before you even apply for your first high rewards travel hacking credit card, there are a few things you need to address first. And those are these basic steps where first and foremost, you need to ask yourself the question, why do you even want to do this? And if you could travel anywhere for free, where would you go? And who would you go with? What time of year would you want to travel to that place? Really have a dream and a goal and a vision for where you even want to use these travel hacking points. Because the more specific that you can get around your travel hacking goals, the easier it is for you to focus your efforts to applying for cards that are easily transferable to airlines and hotels that work for that specific goal. Additionally, you need to understand your starting point, which is your financial situation right now, including your credit score and your personalized expense habits, which we will go over in just a little bit. And it's absolutely not to judge you for where your credit score may be at this time or what your expenses might look like at this time. It's simply so that you can make the travel hacking strategy work best for you based off of the lifestyle that you live. And then once you have a good understanding of where your current financial situation is right now and where you eventually want to go with travel hacking, then you need to develop a project plan and know how to bridge that gap. And then once you know how to do that, then you actually go ahead and build that bridge and you cross that bridge. And that is where applying for credit cards actually comes into play, is not until step 4, where you're actually taking those action items to make the project plan come true. So we are going to step into each of these steps in a little bit more detail, starting with putting together your vision. And for this, it can be really, really easy. I always suggest just make a Pinterest account for your dream trips. And your Pinterest boards don't need to be travel inspiration specific. You can pin things like, what kind of food do you want to eat? What kind of apartments appeal to you? Excursions you want to do, lifestyles you want to explore. And you'll be surprised how those can all lead to different travel inspirations, where if you keep pinning different recipes for tropical drinks, maybe you are interested in travel hacking a trip to Puerto Rico or Barbados or somewhere else in the Caribbean with a lot of different tropical rum drinks. So start there with your vision and Pinterest and get as specific as possible. Think about where you want to go, how many people are going to be in your group, what part of that area you want to stay in, what time of year you want to go, how far in the future this trip is going to be. Because the more specific you can get, the more tangible it feels and the more realistic that goal is going to feel if you don't have some vague idea of, I kind of want to go to a tropical vacation somewhere, but I don't really know where. It's just going to be awesome. That doesn't really tell you anything, and it's harder to work towards that goal with travel hacking. So get very specific with your vision. Next step is figure out your starting point. Most travel hacking cards will require a credit score of at least 700 and sometimes 750. You can find your credit score for free using a website like creditkarma.com or creditsesame.com. And then if you find that your credit score is below 700, there is a wealth of information about how to increase your credit score. I found that Experian has a pretty good article on different tips and tricks that you can implement to increase your credit score so that you can qualify for travel hacking cards. Additionally, you want to have a good understanding of your own spending patterns. I personally use mint.com to get reports like this, which tell me my different spending categories and how much I'm spending in each category, such as groceries or gas or restaurants or travel, etc. Because many of the travel hacking credit cards will give bonus points for different spending categories, and different cards target different categories. For example, if you live in New York and you don't even have a car, it probably doesn't make sense for you to target the travel hacking card that gives a lot of bonus points for spending on gas. However, the World of Hyatt card gives bonus points for public transit, and the Chase Sapphire Reserve gives 10 points per dollar on Lyft rides. So those might be better suited to your lifestyle if you don't have a car, but you're still commuting quite a bit either through public transit or rideshare. So having a good understanding of your normal spending patterns is going to help you target cards that can give you the most points for money that you naturally spend anyway. I also want to point out that at this step, please no judgment. Do not judge yourself. Don't ask yourself questions like, how did I shoot my credit score in the face? Or why is my spending completely out of control? Because you won't be able to fix these things if you are not at least aware of your current standing and how to make moves in order to get to where you want to be with your spending patterns or with your credit score. So this step is not at all about judgment. It's just about knowing where you are versus where you want to be. And once you know where you are, and once you know where you want to go as far as travel hacking dreams, then you start making a project plan for how to even make that happen. You ask yourself questions and do some research around what airlines even fly to my dream destination. And once I get there, what hotels are even available for me to stay at? Once you have a good idea of those things, you can see which credit cards are transferable to those airlines and hotels and can gain you the different points that you need to make those travel dreams a reality. You'll also need to know not just what currency do I need in order to get free travel there, but also how much of that currency do I need. And the easiest way to get a lot of a particular point currency is through sign-up bonuses, which is with that minimum spend that we talked about earlier. So you want to make a solid plan for when are you going to apply for different cards, and how are you going to meet that minimum spend easily and organically with money that was in your budget anyway. And then once you have that project plan put together, you go forth and execute the plan. You do those things. You apply for those different credit cards. You meet the sign-up bonus. You, of course, are going to set your payments to be paid automatically at the end of each statement period. You've heard me go over that before. So you're going to meet your minimum spend, get your large sign-up bonus, and then you're going to use the cards in the most optimized way so that you allocate the expenses to the best card that gets the most bonus points. It's not so much of an issue when you only have one or two cards that you're working with at first, but I personally have probably a dozen different travel hacking credit cards, and I have a spreadsheet that I am fully willing to share with you. If you are interested, just let me know. I have a spreadsheet that tracks for any given expense category, whether it's drugstores or coffee shops or gym memberships, which travel hacking card should I put that on to get the most points for any given dollar spent. And then once you have all of those different points earned and you have this huge pool of points, then you actually need to go forth and spend those points. I see so many people who have this huge bank of points and they're afraid to let go, to which then you have to ask yourself, why are you even doing this if it's just to hoard points? You want to use those points so that you get free travel and then you get to enjoy these luxuries that you worked so hard to achieve. So then you spend those points, you transfer them to the appropriate airlines and the appropriate hotels, and at some point, you need to decide whether or not you want to keep these cards from year to year or if you want to close any of them down. So I would say a couple things here. If it is a no-fee card where it's just free to keep from year to year, go ahead and keep that card around because it actually really helps your credit utilization. I know sometimes there's a myth that if you have too much unused credit, it can hurt you. Actually, it's really good for your credit score to keep your utilization somewhere between 1% and 9%, and having a lot of unused credit helps that. What you want to make sure to do, though, is just buy a stick of gum or something really cheap on different cards every couple months just to make sure they stay active. So if it's a no-fee card, go ahead and just keep it open to keep your credit score up. If there is a fee associated with the card, which many travel hacking cards do have a fee, there's a couple things you need to do. First of all, don't just say, I'm not going to get any credit cards that have an annual fee, because then you could be missing out on a lot of value. You instead want to do the math on, is the fee worth it? For example, the IHG card, which is the brand associated with hotels like Crown Plaza, Holiday Inn, and Intercontinental, they have a credit card that costs, I think, $80 per year, but one of the perks that you get with it is one free hotel night each year. And given that most hotel nights cost more than $80, you are going to get the full value of that annual fee if you plan to stay at least one night in the next year at an IHG hotel. If you're not planning on staying at any IHG hotels in the next year and you don't think that's a benefit you can use, then you should close down the card. And it's important to do that with any card, and with any card that has an annual fee, so that you really understand the different benefits that you can get from that card, and you can calculate whether those benefits are worth the annual fee, and if you're going to be able to take full advantage of those benefits to make the annual fee worth it. And that is the thought process that you go through when you're trying to decide if you want to keep a card or not. Okay, I know I threw a ton of information at you, and you're probably also thinking, this training is for overwhelmed overachievers, and I'm very excited to get into travel hacking, but that was so much information. How do I keep it all straight? So I want to share with you the number one hack for any of this, which is to ask for help. It took me so many years to learn everything that I know about travel hacking, everything from how to meet minimum spend organically and easily without having to spend any extra money, what cards should I apply for at any given time, which cards were the best for my lifestyle, which card should I use on any particular event, whether I should downgrade a card or if I should close a card, what are the different benefits that come with each of these different card options, and how do I get the most value out of each card. There's a lot. And you don't need to learn it all at once. You need to take small steps here. Travel hacking and the travel hacking lifestyle is a marathon. It is not a sprint. This lifestyle is not a get rich quick scheme. And for people who try to overly game the system and say, oh, I'm going to do self referrals with cards, which, first of all, never refer yourself for a card under a different name. Your accounts will get closed down super fast. But people who do shady things like that, their accounts could get wiped, and you don't want that to happen. So you want to start slow if you're going to do this the DIY way, and do your research and take slow, small steps. If you want to learn travel hacking as quickly as possible so that you can get as many points as possible and get to traveling for free as quick as possible without spending a ton of time doing research, then that is where a travel hacking coach can come into play. So I have a special offer for all of you here today. I offer one-on-one travel hacking coaching if you want to plan for a specific travel hacking trip. And this package includes a 1-hour call with as many email follow-ups as you need in order to figure out which cards are the right ones for you to apply for, how to use all of these different cards, the benefits that come with each card, and I will put together for you a customized 12-month credit card plan based off of your travel goals and your specific spending patterns. I'll also send you a card optimization template that I mentioned before, where you can keep track easily of all of your different expense categories and all of your different travel hacking credit cards, and you can match up which card to use for any given expense to maximize the number of points you earn. Quick tip right there, it's just so much easier if you tape a piece of masking tape to each credit card and then you just write on that piece of tape, use for groceries, or use for coffee, or use for Netflix, or something like that. So if you are interested in any personalized coaching for a travel hacking trip, just check out calendly.com/geobreeze and select the $99 package. And so for $99, I will show you how to get a whole bunch of different credit cards that are best suited for you within a 12-month period, and it could potentially save you hundreds, maybe thousands of dollars. Each of these different um, sign-up bonuses are generally valued at hundreds of dollars to get people to sign up for these different credit cards. So for $99, I can teach you as much as you need to know in 1 hour to get a free travel hacking trip. If you have any other questions where it's not for a specific trip yet, but just general travel hacking questions, please feel free to email me at julia@geobreezetravel.com. I am also pretty active on Instagram. My handle is geobreezetravel, and I drop a lot of different knowledge bombs there as well related to travel hacking, with travel hacking tips, as well as productivity tips to save you money, time, and sanity. So I hope to see you there, and I hope you got a lot of value out of this training. Please feel free to send me an email with any feedback if you enjoyed this training or if you have any feedback about how it can be improved. I would absolutely love to hear that as well. Take care and have a wonderful day. Bye.